Chapter 7, Section 6, Student Loans and Home Buying. We're going to compute interest and payments on student loans and mortgages. There are three basic types of student loans: federal loans made by the government, federal loans made by banks or other lenders but guaranteed by the government, and private loans. The student loans differ from other installment loans because the payments are typically deferred until after graduation. In some cases, the interest will accumulate on the loan while the student is in school and not making payments. This is considered the interest to be capitalized, as in it's going to increase the balance when you get out of school to pay. Okay, start making payments. When the interest is covered by the government, though, the student is still, while the student is in school, the student loan is considered to be subsidized. So obviously that's better. The law, and that way you're only paying interest on the principal, not the accumulated interest while you're in school. The loan term can depend on the amount borrowed, but the standard term is 10 years. The payments deferred until 3 to 6 months after graduation. The average college graduate in the class of 2016 left school with over $37,000 in student loan debt. While the student is still in school, the amount of interest accrues each month remains constant and is calculated on the original loan amount. So the amount of interest remains constant. It's not compounded, which means it's not that amount of interest from 1 month doesn't go into computing the interest for the next month. Okay, so it's straightforward, same amount of interest every month while you're in school, calculated on the original loan amount. However, once the repayments start, that accrued interest is added to the principal for calculation of the payments on an unsubsidized loan. So that interest, you're going to bring that in with the principal, and then that whole amount is going to start accumulating interest on it. Typically, to compute the interest on student loans, the daily interest formula is used. So for an annual interest, it's the principal times the interest rates. That's how they figure out the basic interest. Daily interest amount is the annual interest divided by 365. So they take that amount and that's their estimate to cover all the different numbers of days in a month. And then the monthly interest amount equals the daily interest amount of times the number of days in the month. Okay. So for example, Max borrowed $11,500 for her last 2 years in college, acquiring a student loan, federal student loan at 6.2% interest. Find the interest for monthly interest for a 30 and 31 day months. Find the amount of interest accrues if she acquires the loan in August, graduating 2 years later, and the payments begin 3 months after that. All right, so let's start with the daily interest. That's 11. That's the principal times the rate you got the loan for. Multiply first and then divide, and you get $1.95 per day. Okay, so in a 30-day month, $1.95 times 30 is $58.50. For a 30-day month, 31-day month, you're multiplying that dollar amount, $1.95, you get $60.45 for a 31-day month. So then the interest that accrues before the payment starts, well, we have the annual interest for 2 years, came out to that. Okay. So we had, it said, got the loan in August. So September was when it started. October and November, these 3 months later, when the payments begin. So September and November happen to be 30-day months. So we're using that number from the 30 days times 2. October, September, October, November is the 3 months until the payments start. So that 31 day gets here. So you add, excuse me, you have the total amount of interest for annually, and then the daily. This is the accrued interest before payments start. Okay. If it's subsidized, the government will pay this amount. Okay. well, this amount and this amount. And then you just owe that amount. Okay. Well, they'll calculate it again. Well, let's stay tuned to the next page where this problem will continue.